Good morning, everyone, and welcome along to day 2 here at the 39th edition of Jännerrallye. We are up in Upper Austria, bright and early, ready to kick off day 2 of action. In the commentary booth today, we have myself, Hollie McRae, and we will be broadcasting live all day on YouTube. We have Peter McKay, a familiar voice to those of you that watch ERC and WRC coverage. And sitting to my left, we have Kuru, who is streaming for the first time on Twitch, bringing rallying to his audience. Now, today we have 8 stages remaining that lie between the drivers getting to the finish line of the very first rally of the season. We are in for an absolute treat, and if yesterday's 10 stages are anything to go by, it's going to be an interesting one out there. So let's get started by having a look through our leaderboard as it stands coming back from the overnight halt. It is Simon Wagner that leads the way. He has completed 1 hour, 22 minutes, 13 seconds of rallying so far and is leading the pack as we head into day 2. Behind him, and not by far, just 7.4 seconds, is Michael Lengauer. These two Austrian folks have been in a real battle yesterday, and it's sure to continue today. They are both hungry for that first win of the Austrian Rally Championship season. In third position, we have Hermann Neubauer. He is 1 minute 28.1 seconds behind, and followed closely by our fourth position driver at the moment, Mads Osberg. Another new international driver to the Jännerrallye lies in 5th position. That is Romet Jurgensen. He had a tricky day yesterday and lies 2 minutes 30 seconds 0.4 off of Wagner's lead. Just behind him, we have Polish driver Jaroslav Colton, who put in a good performance yesterday and has been climbing up the leaderboard. Then we have one of our brilliant stories of yesterday's rallying, Martin Rossgatterer, who is driving a Renault Clio Rally 4. He is just 2.5 seconds behind Colton in 6th position and about 2 minutes 43 seconds behind the lead. In 8th position overall, we have Maximilian Lichtenegger, the car that you can see on your screen right now, who is just about to get started on day 2 of Jännerrallye 2026. Our top 10 is rounded out by Philip Kreisel, who is driving a Toyota GR Yaris Rally 2. And then finally, in our top 10, we have Peter Kaczmarek, who again is driving a Rally 3 piece of machinery and doing it superbly well. While we're waiting to see Max off of the start line this morning, Peter, good morning. I would like to ask you to give a brief summary of what we saw yesterday and let us know of any standout drivers for you.
Oh, good morning, Hollie. First of all, that's going to be quite tricky, actually, I think, to summarise yesterday. I mean, maybe a story of two halves, you could say, because Simon Wagner looked to have the rally under control through most of the day. But then as soon as the darkness came down, that was where Michael Lengauer struck and really cut that lead all the way down to 7.4 seconds under the cover of darkness. What will we see today? That is a huge question. Can Michael Lengauer catch Wagner and win his 3rd Jännerrallye in a row? Would be quite a story, but for Simon Wagner, 4 second places in a row coming into this event, so he really wants this win very, very badly indeed. But there's still quite a lot of stages to go, and we've still got 8 stages remaining, but way less kilometres than yesterday. So that will definitely play in Wagner's favour, who of course has the time in hand. But in terms of drivers that stood out, it's the guys in the Rally 3 cars. I mean, Martin Rossgatterer, Max Lichtenegger, and also Peter Kaczmarek as well in 10th place. I mean, amazing job. 3 Rally 3 cars in the top 10, mixing it with the Rally 2s. Of course, the tyre disadvantage that they normally have on other surfaces, where the Rally 2 car has a much wider tyre, and of course they have a power disadvantage too, but the tyre disadvantage is negated because everybody's on the same tyre, the 15-inch narrow spike tacky tyre. So No wonder they're doing well, but it really requires bravery from the drivers, and that's what we saw yesterday. And no doubt we'll see more again today.
I have no doubt indeed. It certainly is still all to play for here in Upper Austria. Let's talk a little about the stage that the drivers are taking on first this morning. This is SS11, St. Oswald. It is just a short journey east of Freistadt and is about 12.4 kilometres in length. Now, the drivers that have competed here in the past will have a little bit of an advantage considering it is identical to how it was run last year. Not only that, this road is an iconic one to the region. It's been used in the Jännerrallye since back in 1983. It has a little bit of gravel involved towards the end. Obviously, at the minute, it will be covered by a layer of snow and ice, but as we see the stage develop throughout, perhaps rather than driving on that snow and ice, the studs will be protruding into that gravel layer, and obviously a little bit of a different feeling in the car than what the drivers will expect when driving on top of tarmac. Now, I mentioned that we are streaming on Twitch this weekend as well. I am sat next to Kuru HS, who is here commentating on his first ever live rally. He's normally used to commentating on the gaming aspect. Tell us how this experience has been for you.
It's been super exciting. It's awesome to see everyone work really hard to get this event on the road. You see the drivers giving the best. You have all the organizers making sure everything goes as smoothly as possible. But even then, sometimes you do run into one issue or the other. Like we were told yesterday, it's dropped all the way down to minus 15 degrees. And some of the onboard cameras literally froze up and they didn't work for a while. And I do hope to get those running back again, because that is a view that I really enjoy watching.
Absolutely. It's been quite the day so far, and the rally is just underway. As you can see, this stage today, we're bringing you pictures from the start line. We'll hopefully have some onboards as well when we get up to some of those higher placed drivers. And throughout the day today, we'll have a little mix of coverage, whether it's onboard cameras, stage side. We had some great drone footage yesterday as well. The coverage here at the Jännerrallye is truly spectacular. So a huge thank you to all of the camera folk that are out on the stages bringing us these pictures. And I am sure you will all be so excited to see them wherever you are watching in the world. If that is somewhere locally, we've had quite a few European viewers. Let us know where you're watching from. And yesterday we even had viewers tuning in all the way from Canada, America, Australia. It has been fascinating to bring you this first rally of the season, and it's great to hear that you guys are enjoying. So do engage with us in the comments, whether it is on YouTube, on Twitch. We would love to hear from you this morning. Now, let's talk a little bit about this driver we are watching right now. This is Martin Rossgatterer in the Rally 3 car. He held 4th position for the first 2 stages yesterday, which is truly remarkable considering that he's up against the Rally 2 giants, and it is the first rally of the season. Following stage 3, we saw him drop down to 7th overall, but he's managed to maintain that position for the rest of the day. He is just 2.5 seconds ahead of Colton on the stages. Do you think he will have his eyes on catching Colton at all, Peter, or do you think he's very much driving his own rally at this stage?
That's a good question, because he's leading the Rally 3 category by 1 minute and 11 seconds from Maximilian Lichtenegger, who's right in behind him. So he might potentially have his eyes in both directions in terms of winning his class, but he strikes me as a driver who's there to go and mix it up with the big boys. He has competed in the Jännerrallye in a Rally 2 car before and won a stage at that point, and he finished 7th last year in a Rally 3 car, albeit a Fiesta Rally 3. So I think we're going to see big action from him today, but it is going to be interesting to follow what his approach is. Is he going for the best overall result, or is he wanting to try and go a little bit safer and try and solidify that Rally 3 class win? Jaroslav Koltun, who now into the stage, what a day he had yesterday, guys. I mean, a stage win by a good margin, his fourth Jännerrallye stage win. And on Sunday last year, he had 3 stage wins just on the Sunday alone. So he clearly loves this rally, and he impressed me so much yesterday.
Yeah, he's been really getting his teeth into these stages and showing what he is capable of in that Rally 2 car. You mentioned the stage wins that he amassed last year. 2 of them were on this stage in particular. So this is a stage that Jaroslav has driven in the past. He knows it, he's clearly comfortable on it, and it will be exciting to see what he gets done today. Back on board with Martin Rossgatterer. As you said, Peter, he is leading the Rally 3 category at the minute, and it is something that we will be watching very eagerly. I don't think anyone was quite expecting to see so many of these lower category cars doing so well at the start. We've spoken about how this rally is a rally of attrition. It really is about being there at the end, considering that anything can happen in these sorts of conditions. But from the start, the Rally 3 drivers have been showing us that they can really stand up against the big guys. Tell us what your perspective has been, Kuru, on the different cars that we're seeing. I know you're quite a statistics man. You've been looking into what they are capable of. Did you expect to see the Rally 3s battling so much at this stage in the rally?
No, absolutely not. Usually such a huge difference in performance is something you can't easily surmount, but there has been some amazing driving from our drivers here in the Rally 3 cars to be able to not only keep up with some of the other Rally 2 cars, but actually being much faster than them. So you can really tell that experience makes a huge difference here, and just getting your car at a constant pace around the track can easily beat in a much more stronger and faster car.
Absolutely. And we're now on board with Romit Jurgensen. Now, if anyone out there is selling luck, I think this man would pay some good money for it at the minute. He had such a rough day yesterday out there taking the new Ford Fiesta Rally 2 for a spin. And I'm sure that coming into today, he's really going to try to keep these stages as clean as he possibly can to get as much of an experience out of this car as possible. We know that he's using this rally as a bit of a test ahead of Monte and Sweden in the WRC. Do you think that will influence his approach to this rally, Peter? What might we see from him today?
Maybe, yeah, it could well do. I mean, it's a tricky test because it's probably actually a better test for Sweden than it is for Monte Carlo because of the kind of style of the tyre, the spiked tyre, which and the little narrow tyre. I mean, even then, it's still unique. It's still not the same as what you would use in WRC2, which fits under the same wheel rim, but. I think you just got to try and get through clean today. He showed yesterday that he had plenty speed. I mean, loads of speed for Romit Jurgensen. So I think we'll see more of the same again today as Max Lichtenegger to the end of the stage already, as quick as that.
Let's see if we're getting some stage end interviews this morning.
First stage of the day, how are you doing? It looks like there's a lot of grip, but it is actually quite icy.
So there we have it, straight from the mouth of one of the drivers that has just experienced this stage, a challenging start to the morning, and that is 2 of our drivers that have now completed. Max Lichtenegger there, as you have just seen, complete, but just behind Philip Kaczmarek, both of them driving Rally 3 cars and experiencing this stage for the first time. So it is Kaczmarek who leads the way so far with a time of 9 minutes, 26 seconds, 0.2, with Max Lichtenegger behind by 13.6 seconds. Now, both of these drivers are the youngest in the rally. Peter, who had his first eyes on the stage this morning, only 19 years old, and managing a top 10 overnight in a Rally 3 car. It's truly, truly fascinating. when you compare the experience that he has to this man that we're now watching on screen, Mads Osberg, it is night and day. Mads didn't have the easiest day yesterday, but hopefully today we will see a little bit more luck on his side. And of course, Mads, we've got a little interview.
Hallo, ja, gut, danke. Zum Schluss haben wir gar nicht lenken müssen.
Wie war die Fahrt?
The stage didn't even have to
Super,
steer.
ja, sehr schön, ja.
Wie sind die Verhältnisse?
Bitte?
Wie sind die Straßenverhältnisse?
How are the conditions?
Ja, eigentlich sehr viel Grip. Und zum Schluss, ja.
I think there's a lot of grip and quite a bit of snow at the end.
Es lenkt von selbst. Die Hände weggeben vom Lenkrad und einfach Gas geben und wieder durchfahren.
The tilt at the end just steers the car by itself.
Well, there we have it. Those were the words of Philip Kressel, who comes through with the quickest time so far. That's 9 minutes 11 seconds, 0.3, as we introduce Hermann Neubauer to the stages. What a day he had yesterday. He's kept it very, very clean from start to finish, but the actions of other drivers seems to have been putting his positions either up a few, down a few. Tell us, Peter, what your perspective is on the day that Hermann Neubauer had yesterday and what his hopes might be for today.
Well, Hermann's an interesting one because he didn't quite have the ultimate pace of Robert Jürgensen or Mads Osberg, but his experience really played a part because when they had errors or had punctures or whatever, he didn't, and that I'm sure comes from his experience of driving on this tyre but also driving this rally, and that allowed him to keep on the, well, he kind of got kicked off the podium a couple of times while the others were putting really fast stage times in, but then they would have issues. So Hermann, he's just got to go by that same game plan today, you'd have to think, and he may well be on the podium by the end of the day.
Absolutely. He's an example of what consistency can do for you, I reckon, as we can now listen into Ross Gatterer.
Morgen.
Good morning.
Ja, war. Das ist einmal eine harte Stage zum Montag.
Very hard stage to wake up to.
Power Stage. Ich sage immer noch, die Sonderprüfung ist Power Stage würdig. Absolut hart.
He considers it a power stage.
Man kann den Grip nur schwer einschätzen. Teilweise haben wir super Grip, man kann super hinholen.
Partly you have a lot of grip and on other parts it's very icy.
Und Eisnot. Ja, bin jetzt nicht ganz zufrieden mit dem Lauf. Schauen wir, was die Uhr sagt.
Not super happy about the run, but let's see how it develops.
Genau, es sind noch ein paar Prüfungen. Wir haben einen guten Vorsprung. Wir wollen jetzt nicht mehr zu.
We have a decent month of a lead and can keep going for the rest of the stages.
So werden wir weitermachen. Alles Gute. Dankeschön.
Best of luck.
A smile from Martin Ross Gatterer as he heads off to the second stage of the day. That time puts him second overall so far in the stage standings, a time of 9 minutes 18.3, and crucially enough he is in the top section of the Rally 3 cars. Let's have a little look now as we ride on board with Robert Jürgensen. I was hoping that we might manage to get a little bit of Sim's pace notes as he's heading through this stage today, but it doesn't seem the case. As Kuru mentioned at the start of the stream this morning, the weather outside has been playing a little bit of a part. We've managed to get some onboards through, some of them not so much. The technology doesn't seem to be standing up against the really cold temperatures outside. But we are bringing you what we can, and hopefully we'll get to hear from Sim at some point during the day, because hearing those Estonian pace notes is something very special. Now, we wait on the start line with rally leader Simon Wagner. What a day he has had yesterday. A sterling performance from start to finish. 3 stage wins, and his lowest overall stage result being 4th. It really was a real show of his skill and talent yesterday. What did you make of seeing Simon Wagner work on his stages yesterday for the first time, Kuru?
Yeah, I've been very impressed by his consistency. I mean, he really wants it. He got 4 second places in previous years, so I called it yesterday. I said either he's going to go first or he's going to go out. I do think if it comes down to it, he's going to take a few more risks than some of the other drivers might take. And even if he didn't so far, he has been having a really, really decent run. No major mistakes anywhere. As you said, he got 4th place at the worst so far in any of the stages. Still leading by a little bit less than 10 seconds as far as I remember. Was it 6 or 7?
Yeah.
So he's been holding on to his first position for quite a while, and I think he wants to keep it that way.
I think so too. Let's take this opportunity to listen in to Hannah Osterländer as she guides Wagner around the stage this morning.
First stage of the day, how are you?
Hesitating quite a bit. Actually, the new tires give you quite a good grip, so it's not too bad. But as I said, hesitating a lot, but generally fun. I think in the morning that's definitely better than yesterday.
I just heard you had the best time on this stage.
That's good.
Congratulations.
That is the quickest stage time so far by Romet Jurgensen. He's posted a time of 8 minutes 47.5. That is the quickest so far and the first under the 9-minute mark. Now, as we were hearing from Hannah's previous pace notes, Jaroslav Kultin also completes the stage. He's sitting 4th overall in that stage with a time of 9 minutes 18.9. It is slower than Martin Rossgatterer, but crucially it keeps him just ahead in the overall standings. That gap between the two now only 1 second, 0.9. As we head into the stage with Albert Vorturnen Taxis, he had a good day yesterday out on the stages, finishing 11th at the overnight halt. And I'm sure he'd be quite happy with that road position-wise, because it means he fell just out with the reseeding. Peter, tell us a little bit about how the reseeding works for those that maybe aren't too aware, and why perhaps he's quite happy to be in the position that he's in this morning.
Yeah, it'll be better road position than he had yesterday, where he started 3rd on the road. He's going to start further down today. He's going to start 11th on the road, and the advantage to that really is when you have a layer of snow on the road, the early cars on the road clear that away and create a line where there's more grip underneath. So that's going to make a big difference. But let's hear from Mads Osberg, see what he has to say this morning.
Second best time on the stage. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it was okay. Very slippery in there, so just yeah, not driving fast enough. I need to try and go a bit faster for the next ones.
All the best.
Thank you.
Now, as Mads heads away from the stop line, we join Michael Lengauer on the stages. This man has a real task on his hands today. He will be looking to try and jump up the order and take that rally lead from Simon Wagner. Now, as we are watching this, we've had word come in from the clerk of the course that Lengauer is experiencing a puncture on the front left. Now, we are watching here to see how that is affecting his driving. Perhaps it is a slow puncture, but as we saw yesterday, these tacky tyres that the drivers are using, they don't seem to be the easiest at keeping on the rim, Kuru. Tell us a little bit about what we were experiencing yesterday with punctures for those that are maybe tuning in today for the first time.
Oh, wow. I think there is some heavy damage going on right now. He's really having a hard time keeping the car on the road with the puncture on the front. He probably had the front bumper crash in 2 parts of the track there. But I think now it's completely off and it's going to be a little bit easier for a while. I do hope the damage is not going to get any worse as he keeps completing the stage here. But yeah, the tires are tricky. While they do give you the best grip here on these stages, let's listen to Hermann Neubauer.
eisige Strecke, habe ich gehört.
Richtig
Very
cool.
icy
so eine geile
racetrack.
Sonderprüfung, ich glaub,
I love it. It's amazing. It's really fun.
Extrem
It's
viel
fast.
geile Bedingungen, die
Lots of
Sonne geht
people.
auf. Du
Great
fährst durch den
conditions.
Flat out durch den Wald, also es ist richtig cool.
Really
Ich glaub,
cool
die
going
Zeit
through
war
the
ganz
forest,
okay.
high speeds.
Ich bin gespannt, was jetzt hinter mir passiert, aber ich bin
Really
gespannt,
excited what's going to happen behind me as well.
Du hast jetzt aktuell die zweitbeste Zeit.
Second best time so
okay,
far.
Robert Jürgensen ist hundertprozentig richtig schnell und von dem her
Jürgensen
für mich
is definitely
ich hab
fast.
jetzt richtig Spaß und das passt.
But I'm having a lot of
Alles
fun,
Gute.
and this is exactly how I wanted. Best of luck.
Well, there we go. Herman Neubauer seems to have woken up on a different side of the bed this morning. He seems to really be enjoying himself and getting really settled in that car. Anyway, back to Michael Lengauer, as you were saying, Kuru.
Oh yeah, about the tires. Those are quite skinny with like 2mm spikes, and while they do give you the best grip, they are also a bit more fragile because of their size. So if you slide into an object, a post, or even just a little bit of a piece of hard snow, you might actually strip the wheel off the rim, and then obviously you might not get a typical puncture, but you will definitely lose a lot of pressure on your tire, and then having to deal with that kind of flat wherever it is, on the front, on the back, it is a very hard thing to deal with. And some drivers got very unlucky and they even had 2 punctures at the same time, which obviously costs you a lot of time. But they did manage eventually, and that's just part of a rally race.
It certainly is part of it, but it's not something you want to experience at this stage in the rally when there is so much to play for. Just to repeat there, it's a front left puncture that Lengauer is experiencing at the minute, and this could be crucial for what is going to happen in this event. He's lying second at the minute. He is only 7.4 seconds behind Simon Wagner, the rally leader, and I'm sure he would have had his sights set on him this morning. Now, it does mean that he won't be catching Simon, certainly on this stage. Behind him, he's got a bit of a time buffer to Herman Neubauer in third, but as you can see, he is really not managing too well there. Peter, he's just making it to the finish there. Tell us what that experience will have been like trying to manage that tyre damage.
Oh, absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible with that puncture on the front left. Looks like it's coming completely off the rim. He's had to drive. Yeah, he's had to drive on that. Let's hear what he's got to say. This is a disaster for Michael Lengauer.
Was ist passiert?
What happened?
Ja, wir haben ziemlich gleich am Anfang irgendwas im Schnee getroffen.
We had something in the snow right at the beginning, under the snow.
Somit war es das, glaube ich. Kann man nichts machen, wir haben es probiert. Danke.
We tried everything we could, but that was just bad luck.
Bad luck is harsh as it comes, I think. At least he's managed to complete that stage, and from an overall perspective, he does still hold that second position. There is now just 24 seconds between himself and Herman Neubauer in third, but certainly not the start of the rally he would be imagining. Peter, back to what you were saying.
Yeah, this is just heartbreak for Michael Lengauer. It's now, Simon Wagner will know because he'll have just seen Michael Lengauer go out of the time control. Let's see his reaction.
Lengauer hat einen Reifenschaden, 1 Minute verloren. Was sagst du?
Lengauer lost a minute, damaged his front tire. What did he say?
1 Minute verloren.
Ja, das tut mir wirklich leid für ihn.
I'm really sorry for him.
Ich habe die Spuren von ihm gesehen und das hat nicht gut gehen können.
I saw his racing and this couldn't have gone well.
Aber tut mir extrem leid. Die Prüfung ist allerdings sehr hart und es kann
Really sorry about him, but it's a really hard stage and he did take the wrong path there.
Ja, gefreut mich. War, glaube ich, ein ganz gutes Stage. Ich habe gewusst, wir müssen ein bisschen
Happy about my stage.
Aber wie gesagt, ohne Fehler, ganz clean. Und,
Without any mistakes, very clean.
Gemacht, aber long way to go.
Motiviert für den Tag heute?
Ja, definitiv.
Motivated for the rest of the day.
Ich immer sehr verkühlt bin. Ja, waren es nur 4 Stunden in Summe, aber ich bin fit für heute.
Only slept 4 hours, but I think I'm fit for the day.
There we go then. It was the driving line that took Lengauer off stage that let Wagner know that there was an issue in there. Peter, we'll come back to you for the third time. Let's finish. How must Michael Lengauer be feeling after that shocking opening stage of the day?
He'll be absolutely gutted because I think he really had the momentum after last night, when reeling that gap into Wagner, and it really was charging, and I was ready for a big battle between the two of them today, but that changes everything. And as he mentioned, it was a rock underneath the snow. He couldn't have done anything about it, just rotten luck. But now Wagner leads by 1 minute and 13 seconds, so he can now take it much, much easier and control it from here.
Du bist aktuell Vierter in der Wertung. Geht's da?
Fourth best time so far.
Relativ schwierig.
I do.
Brauche in der Früh immer ein bisschen bis ich reinkomme, 2-3 Kilometer und dann ist eigentlich recht flüssig.
Need about
geworden,
2-3 kilometers to get back into things. It's quite a hard first stage.
Du hast die schnellste ORM2-Zeit. Gratuliere.
Sorry, jetzt habe ich dich nicht verstanden.
Schnellste ORM2-Zeit.
Fastest RM2 time.
Ach so, okay, ja, aber es kommen ja noch einige schnelle hinten, also ich glaube, das sagt noch nichts.
Doesn't say too much. I know there's going to be some fast people behind me.
That is Günther Knobloch heading away from the stop line of SS11. He finishes 38.3 seconds behind Wagner's quickest time. Let's talk a little bit about Wagner in this situation now, because he's found himself being chased very closely for the entire rally. He's now gained himself quite the buffer between himself and Lengauer in second. Peter, how will that influence his driving for the last 7 stages of the rally? There's still a long way to go, and he must now need to do a bit of a reset.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because in that stage, he wouldn't have known that Lengauer had a puncture, and he's gone through that stage 8 seconds quicker than anybody. Robert Jurgensen was the nearest driver to him, so he was clearly on a push, knowing that he had to push to try and hold off Michael Lengauer, but now that he knows that he's got that big gap, he can back it right off. Big gap back to Lengauer, so that will change his approach completely, you would imagine. But the thing is, punctures can still happen. I mean, look at Lengauer. He did nothing wrong. He didn't hit anything that he could see. It was underneath the cover of snow. So Wagner won't be able to go too easy, because in case something happens to him. But it's just heartbreak for Lengauer. Lengauer was right in the fight for a third win here at the Jännerrallye in a row, don't forget. But first stage of the morning, and he's right up against it. What a shame.
It has been providing all the drama so far this morning, and we are only 1 stage in. I'm having a little look just now as we sit with Burnsy on the start line at our YouTube comments. Good morning to those of you that are joining us for this first stage of day 2. I say good morning. There's actually quite a few people tuning in from America at the minute, so a very late evening good night for you. We've got people watching from Norway, people watching from all across Europe as well. So do let us know where you're tuning in from today. It is a real pleasure to bring you this coverage. And a question that comes all the way from Australia. Peter, I wonder if you can answer this one for us. It says, we don't have many Rally 3 cars competing here in Australia. Are they usually quite so competitive with the Rally 2s?
Generally, no, because they're at a big... Well, there's two things. On a tarmac rally, for example, or indeed a gravel rally, they have two problems. One, they have a lot less horsepower, about 80 horsepower less. And also they don't have anywhere near as wide a tyre, and particularly on tarmac, that width of the tyre is very important for that maximum amount of rubber on the surface. Here in the Jännerrallye, where we all use these really narrow, tacky tyres when the weather is like this, it means that tyre advantage for the Rally 2 car is taken away. Of course, there is still the horsepower disadvantage that they have, which is why it's so impressive what the drivers are doing, but it does allow them to get closer on these kinds of stages.
So there we have it. The Rally 3s are doing something quite spectacular out there today, and we will be sure to follow the top 3 Rally 3 cars as they head through the stages for the remainder of the day. Now, a little update on our current standings as they are at the minute. Simon Wagner still leads the way and extends that gap that he's experienced. He finished that stage in 8 minutes 39 seconds, 0.5. Second in that stage was Robert Jurgensen, posting a brilliant time of 8 minutes 47 seconds, 0.5. That's 8 seconds behind Wagner himself. 9.5 seconds behind, we have Hermann Neubauer, followed by Mads Osberg in 4th position on that stage. And I think looking down the order, a real surprise for me in that stage this morning, Albert von Turnen Taxis has finished 6th overall at the minute. Obviously, there are still plenty cars to pass through the field, but we do have our eyes on him as he's done a spectacular job on his first ever Jännerrallye so far. Tell us, Kuru, coming to an event like this, what might these drivers be feeling? He's obviously had a bit of experience yesterday, but it's something really unique, this rally.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like it's not just the tires. Obviously, it's the roads of Austria that have their own charm and definitely their own feeling. They usually use January, the Jännerrallye, to get used to some winter. Get some winter experience in, driving on snow, driving on ice, changing conditions. Yesterday we had the sun come out multiple times over, melting away a lot of the snow, making the track faster. We might encounter the same thing today. We might not. It might stay as it is right now, very icy, lots of snow, pretty hard to drive. Where sometimes you have good grip, sometimes you are on an ice plate and you just have to deal with it. And I think they're enjoying that a lot, and that's what they're here for.
That certainly is what they're here for, and I'm sure so many of the drivers have been so eager to get this rally underway. The first rally in the Austrian Championship and the first rally of the 2026 season. This is an event that I've heard some great things about in the past, and it's an absolute pleasure for me to be coming here for the first time and experiencing it. And I know for yourself, Peter, when you got the opportunity to work on this event, this was something that got you quite excited as well. Tell us just a little bit about what it is about the Jännerrallye that gets you so excited. I think we've lost Peter there. Maybe he's away for a wee cup of tea.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what?
I just closed my microphone. Apologies.
No problem.
Yes, just having a sip of tea. Yes, I think it's the variety of condition that you have here at the Jännerrallye that makes it so special. This year it's been a bit more consistent than usual, but we've got really experienced drivers coming here from all over the world who have never tried it before. And I think it's that unique challenge which is what attracts everyone. And of course, the fact it's the first weekend of the year, it gives us a fresh start to the season as well.
It certainly does. And that is us wrapping up here for the first stage of the day. That was SS11, and we will be back very shortly with SS12. It begins at 8:53 Austrian time, so about 20 minutes or so. The stream will continue, so feel free to stay and have a chat in the comments, and we will be back very shortly to bring you the action from stage 12.